Alrighty, Coach Buzzard here. It's a cold, windy day in Central Texas. We're talking about Zone 2 running. Everybody's favorite. Why you should do it all the time for your marathon training. Oh no, I think I'm blowing away. So I apologize for the audio. It honestly is really windy, but we're just gonna try this. I like doing the run videos while I'm running. So what is Zone 2? Let's dig into it. Okay, so Zone 2, typically speaking, is running at about 60 to 70% effort. Some people will say 60, 70% heart rate. I don't always measure exact heart rates. They say that you should subtract your age from 220 to get your max heart rate. I feel like that's more of an estimate through the general population because different people, based on genetics, previous athletic history, talent, and different things, will have a different max heart rate. But regardless, I would say if you try to run at about 60 to 70% of your effort, you're probably going to be running generally in a steady state aerobic, which is going to put you around Zone 2. Another way to calculate this is to do the popular talk test. Like me, I'm breathing a little bit heavy, but I'm not gasping for air. I'm able to talk, saying that my heart rate is around 130. If I was running this pace, which is close to a 9-minute pace, my heart rate would typically be lower. Like yesterday, I did a 15-mile long run. I averaged the 8:24 pace, and my average heart rate was 128. But talking the whole time, it's gonna raise it. But either way, you can do the talk test. If you can't talk at all, you're probably not in Zone 2, or you also might be not experienced enough as a runner. Sometimes beginner runners will just find it incredibly difficult to talk. But regardless, Zone 2 running is important because recovery is important. A lot of people think you just need to push all the time, and they see all these creators like Nick Bare and Jeremie Miller and David Goggins, all these people pushing. Now, granted, what a lot of people don't realize, when you look at someone like Nick Bare, he's going to upload almost every day his watch data. And it's pretty much just going to say that he went for 8 to a 10-mile run. And you'll see on his data that he runs close to a 7-minute pace. But that doesn't mean that I should do that. Nick has been training at a very high level for a long time. So his Zone 2 is not the same as mine. My Zone 2 is probably going to put me, like I said, square in that 8-minute range. But if you're a beginner runner, and let's say your 5K time, maybe you go out, you do your first 5K, and you get 28 to 30 minutes, you're not going to want to do your Zone 2 pace. What I'm doing, or you probably won't be able to, but I'm just saying, if you even try to run at 8-minute pace, your heart rate is going to be super high. Because I can do a 5K. If I was to go out and do it right now, max effort, I could probably get 18 minutes. But again, I'm not going to try to go out at Nick and Jeremie's pace. Those guys could probably do a 15-minute or 16-minute 5K. So everybody's at a different level. That's what I'm trying to say. If you try to race at someone else's pace, just because you see it on Instagram, you're going to burn yourself out too quick. So let's get back to Zone 2. If you run more efforts at Zone 2, you're running at a lower heart rate. You're not breaking down your muscles as much. You're not creating as much lactate. You don't have to get rid of as much carbon dioxide. So your system is not worked nearly as hard. Sorry for that wind. I'm going to blow away here. Long story short, the more that you have to recover during your efforts, the less of those runs that you can do. So like your long run, I did that yesterday. You're not going to see me doing a track work today or a fast tempo because I need some time to recover from the 15 miles. I've been doing track workouts on Saturdays. Those are tough. I put in about 10 miles of volume and I go fast. Thursdays, I'm doing tempo runs. So I'm spacing it out. But every runner is going to be different. And if you're a beginner runner, you probably are going to have a hard time doing some of the planned workouts that I'm doing. You're probably going to want to start off with even more zone 2, where most of your runs are zone 2, until you can build up your fitness enough that you can comfortably start putting in more speed work. But you want it to be gradual. Zone 2 is going to be very effective at making sure that you don't get hurt, making sure that you don't get overuse injuries.
Clock 2, 9:06.
So there we go, right around 9-minute pace. Again, I would typically be a little quicker than this, but whenever I'm like trying to record a YouTube video and talk the whole time, I naturally slow down a little bit. But like I said, yesterday I was running like 8:20 repeated for 15 miles. That's kind of my standard zone 2 pace. You're gonna have to figure out that pace for yourself. It's gonna be different for everybody. But if you try to go hard all the time, every day, etc., you're gonna end up having a really hard time. And it's because you're not giving yourself enough recovery time. Some of the science behind zone 2, you are typically going to be burning fat as your fuel. Whereas if you're in the upper zones, like zone 4, zone 5, like fast sprints and high intensity work, those are going to primarily burn carbohydrates. But zone 2 is going to be fat oxidation, where the ATP is created by using fat as its primary fuel source. So anyways, I think I'm gonna finish this run here, but that's kind of the really basic just outlook of why you wanna run in zone 2. Like I said, the main thing is that you can recover more. If you try to do track workouts, tempo workouts, and threshold runs all the time, you're gonna burn yourself out. You're gonna get overuse injuries. So stick to zone 2 for a primary amount of your training. Probably 60 to 70% of your training, honestly. If you got any questions, throw them down in the comments. Let me know what you think. I'd love if you guys subscribe for future videos, tips, tricks, and advice for track and field, running, marathon training, and my training for the Boston Marathon that I'm attempting to qualify for. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.